Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of Paranormasight, The Mermaid's Curse, running on Nintendo Switch 2. Very well, I'll tell you. I heard it from a descendant of the islanders who used to call it Ise-Shima home. What? So someone survived the disaster that sunk Ise-Shima, and their descendants are still around today? Long story short, yes. Isn't that fascinating? This particular individual was also the one who told me about the 3 mermaids who were said to have lived on Ise-Shima. I see. By the by, if you're also seeking mermaids, you must have some information of your own, yes? Surely this one-sided exchange of knowledge wounds your good conscience. Allow me to remedy that by accepting any information you have. Ise. Yeah, this is our best lead yet. Let's share what information we have. You see... Oh, so you were saved by a mermaid during the disaster 5 years ago. And you believe the mermaid in question might be your mother? Yeah, I know it sounds pretty far-fetched. And I know some of it probably comes from me wanting her to still be alive. Oh no, on the contrary, I find it very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Why, you ask? Or, why? There's a rumor about one of the 3 mermaids who used to live around Ise-Shima. They say she took on human form several decades ago and has lived among humans ever since. What? No way. That would perfectly fit with our theory. Ha ha ha. Color me surprised as well. This is my surprised face, by the way. But it would be very interesting if that was the case. Sorry, Avi. I think I'm at my limit. Oh my. That bad, is it? Is something wrong? My apologies. As much as I wish we could talk more, it would appear that we're out of time. I'm afraid we must bid you goodbye for today. Now that you mention it, if you're looking to make the last ferry, you'll probably want to be heading back soon. Wait, this is the most promising lead we found. If you could stay just a bit longer. Believe me, I'd love to continue our chat too, but little lady has been feeling a bit under the weather ever since arriving here, you see. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You're not going to get another nosebleed. If you're feeling that bad, maybe you should stay for the night after all. Thank you. I'm just about holding my nosebleed in. But I really should get off the island as soon as possible. Ever since arriving here, I've had this feeling that some terrible calamity is approaching. A calamity? You can't mean... Oh, I forgot to mention, young Circe here is a bit sensitive to things in that sphere, if you catch my drift. Oh, okay, but... As reluctant as I am to part ways, we must really go. Many thanks for the information you shared, and never fear. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow? Ise. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Avi. You rang? If you happen to find any more leads on mermaids today, could you let me know as soon as possible, please? Oh, I didn't expect you to be all that interested. Very well. If I hear anything else, I'll be sure to let you know. If you could give me your contact information, perhaps. Thank you. Man, that sure was a stroke of good luck. I never thought they'd have so much info for us. We managed to learn a lot, but it seems like getting any more from them today will be a bit tough. I really need that information by tomorrow, though. Okay, guess that's it, really? We're gonna talk to Wakamura? Mr. Wakamura. Okay, no on that one. Torii gates. Nobody here? clock. Nobody here either. Chuo Street? No. Looks like the sun's starting to set. Why don't we go over what we've learned so far? Yeah, good idea. First, we learned that my mom was considered cursed by some of the islanders. Yeah, they said that she descended from the person who originally called forth the curse of the raging waves, or something like that. And because he thinks the curse is about to break out again, Mr. Wakamura is currently trying to find a way to stop it. Not everyone on the island believes in it, though. Kikuko and Shotaro didn't seem to believe in it at all, yeah. We also managed to speak with those two foreigners who were looking for mermaids. They sure were full of surprises. There's also that rumor about mermaids living near Ise-Shima, a nearby island that was destroyed, and that one of them was assumed a human form. I never thought we'd find something to support the idea my mom might have been a mermaid. Whatever else we may have learned from this, the mermaid that I encountered 5 years ago may very well have been one of those three living near Ise-Shima. We also got some hints about where those mermaids might have come from. Yeah, there's a good chance they originally came from an otherworldly place called Ryugu. If they're in a place like that, I don't see how we could ever get to them, though. What that girl said about a calamity approaching is bothering me a bit, too. There's no way she should know about the curse of the raging waves, right? Do you think that means the curse is real after all? Oh. Azami, I just realized something. Yeah? The curse of the raging waves is in danger of breaking out again. Then wouldn't that mean its curse bearer is still around today? Oh, damn, you're right. But your mom is, well, not with us anymore. Mr. Wakamura seemed to think I wasn't the direct cause of the curse reappearing, too. Yeah, he'd probably be coming down on you even harder if he thought you were. So the person responsible will be someone who wasn't here 5 years ago, but is here now. Well, assuming the curse is real anyway. Yeah. Still, I really do wonder if my mom had some sort of link with mermaids. I hope whatever Gran has to tell us sheds some light on things. You mean what she's planning to tell us at the bay tonight? What's wrong? There's a bunch of noise coming from Chuo Street. I think I heard screaming. Let's go. Ah! Why? What happened? What's wrong? Tsukasa, what's going on? I don't... We were just... But then Sato just... Yuza, look over there. What? Ah! Sato, there's blood everywhere. What happened? She's not moving. Don't tell me she's dead. Sato just suddenly... But then she got cut down. Whatever it was, we gotta get her to the clinic. Wait, what's happening? Whoa. Sato, her wound is... The wound is gone? Sato. Sato, are you okay? Sato. Uh-oh. Read fast. Name's Osato. Osato. Oh, interesting. So something's up with Sato for sure, huh? Might as well max out. I'm sure that'll play some role later on. Okay, we're all maxed. Guess we look at Yumiko? Yumiko Shiki and Sota Kiryu head to the coast of Futomigara after receiving a report about a strange corpse found there. August 7th. Morning. Futomi Town. Futomigara Coast. Mrs. Shiki. There you are. Sorry for calling you all the way out here. Not at all. Thank you for bringing the case to our attention. I hear you've got an unusual corpse on your hands. Well, forensics aren't here yet, so I honestly don't know whether it can even be called a corpse or not. But I do know that it'll cause a stir if anyone catches sight of it, so right now we're just trying to keep the busybodies away. I sure am glad it happened while you were still here, though. What with you being from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police and all. Masaru Ide. Where's our cadaver, then? Still in the water over there where it was found. Feel free to go ahead and examine it. Over there? I see. Do we know the situation when the corpse was found? I just got here as well, so I'm not clear on the details myself. But from the sound of it, that the local civilian happened across it about an hour ago as they were passing by. They got us on the scene immediately, so no one else should have seen it. That's a relief. We don't want people working themselves into a frenzy over this. Where's that local now? We got someone taking their statement in a nearby police box. I'll let you know when we get more info there. Please do. This is Masato Ide, a detective from the local police. He's acting as my point of contact while I'm over here, as well as providing any support I need. I don't doubt it's quite a troublesome assignment. There are a lot of things that need to be kept secret for one. But he's been very good at not prying into the particulars while doing what needs to be done, occasionally grumbling without notwithstanding. Given what this case has ended up involving, though, those particulars may not end up remaining undisclosed for much longer. Weren't you going to examine the body? This is Futamigara, a coastline just northeast of Ise City. It's a pretty popular location for tourists, and there are several beaches nearby as well, so a bunch of people are milling around. It certainly is an impressive sight. It's too bad we couldn't come here as simple tourists. This is Sora Kiryu. He's worked with me as my assistant for a long time now, although he usually makes his living as a psychic detective. He's not officially with the police, but with my assignment being what they are, he has special permission to accompany me on investigations. Is there anything that stands out to you so far, Isoto? I'd like to get a better grasp on the details before saying anything, I think. The local police have the area closed out to make sure bystanders can't get too close. I see. So this is the corpse in question, is it? Oh, interesting. Unusual is certainly one word for it. It's all dried up now, almost like it's been mummified. But apart from that, it's pretty safe to say this is a mermaid, right? Let's take a closer look at it. It would seem like the fish half of the body begins from the shoulders downward. All the mermaids I've ever heard of have the fish half start from the waist down. If it's a fake, maybe whoever made it didn't do their research. Really? Several of the mermaids described in old Japanese legends had their faces as the only human part, though. Seriously? I guess that makes me the one who didn't do the research then. As you can see, there's no doubt it was a human head. That's the main reason we went ahead with treating it as a corpse. That makes sense. I can't imagine anyone would have seen a creature like this before, after all. If it really is a mermaid, wouldn't this be a pretty huge discovery? It's not the sort of thing we'd be able to make public, that's for sure. I don't suppose we have any way of confirming their identity. Their identity? Given the state of the body, it'd probably be difficult to confirm based on facial features, but we might have a chance using dental records. That would depend on if they ever had a dental exam. I see. That makes sense. The lower body's half is identical to a fish's tail. If this was a fish, it'd be a pretty big one. If this really is a corpse, I wonder when they died. I doubt their body would have ended up like this desiccated if it had been in the sea this whole time. You think there's a possibility that they died shriveled up into a mummy-like state, then their body fell into the sea and got washed up here? It makes for quite the enigma, that's for sure. There's no sign of any external wounds. I can't see anything that could have caused their death, at least. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards it being some kind of being a fake of some kind. What do you think? It's true many of the mermaid mummies discovered were ultimately found to have been man-made in origin. Won't find me complaining if it is. No need to investigate a fake corpse after all. Maybe that's being too optimistic, though. We'll just have to see about that, won't we? When I first saw this expression, I thought they must have died in unbelievable agony. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like they look almost satisfied? Could just be my imagination, though. Satisfied, huh? At first glance, he seems sort of At first glance, he seems the sort to find hard work troublesome, but he's proven himself to be quite the thoughtful individual. If that attitude of his is a deliberate ploy to get those he's dealing with to lower their guards, he's certainly not one to be underestimated. If we really do have a mermaid on our hands, do you think all those stories about becoming immortal from eating mermaid flesh are true? Oh, so you're curious about that too, detective? Well, I don't know if I'd actually want to eat it, though. Living forever doesn't necessarily mean you'll be happy, you know? Besides, I can't say I find the thought of eating meat from this thing all that appealing. I see. I suppose that's the natural response. But there are plenty of people who would be interested in getting their hands on this corpse for that exact reason. I can see that. We might even have people fighting over it if it gets out. All the more reason to try and keep it hidden. Sure is a troublesome thing we've got on our hands here. He's had his gaze fixed on the corpse ever since we got here. I suppose he's curious to know what led to its current state. Well, I think we have a decent grasp of the situation now. What's your opinion, Soto? First of all, based on the state of the corpse, I think it's safe to say this is another case of curse of the Forsaken Fish. Some of the residual curse energy is still lingering around the body. Just as expected then. So, I suppose that's no surprise. Huh? What was that just now? We'll try to explain our understanding of the case so far, Detective. I realize some of it might sound a bit absurd, so please bear with us. This corpse is neither a fake, nor could it be called a mermaid. It is the remains of a human, one transformed into a fish as the result of a curse. What? A former human? And a curse, too? It's pretty hard to know what to say to that. One thing's for sure, that's not going to fly in the case report by itself. Mind explaining a bit more for me? Of course. Let me start with an explanation of our circumstances, then. I'll let you handle the explanations, ma'am. Of course. Leave it to me. In return, I'll be counting on you to handle the report. Confound it. Let's talk about the department. First, I suppose I should start with a brief explanation of the department I work for. Wait, aren't you part of some secret department in the security division over in Tokyo? Are you sure you should be telling me something like that? I'm not going to get caught up in any troublesome business if I do, am I? No need to worry. I doubt it will come to that. Probably. Our work is mostly kept secret because it's something of a pain to find people who will accept, let alone understand, the circumstances each time. But you've been very supportive so far, so I can't imagine that will be a problem. Well, if you really insist, go ahead, I guess. As you say, my department is indeed part of the security division. Its proper name is the Paranormal Affairs Bureau. Jeez, the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, huh? Though, if there really are cases of spiritual phenomena causing harm around the place, I guess it's not that hard to believe there'd be some sort of organization to deal with them within the police. Precisely. I'm glad you're so quick on the uptake. Well, after seeing the corpse over there, there's not much else I can do but believe it, you know. Oh, does that mean you have spirit sense? Or some sort of psychic powers? Not to any notable degree, I'm afraid. As I mentioned, I'm primarily a housewife. If you ask me, I would rather sort this all out and get back home to my husband as soon as possible. Right. Soda here was my husband's protege when he used to work as a psychic, though he helps me out on any work I'm assigned to. I'm responsible for handling any spiritual work that comes up, yes. Spiritual work, huh? Hearing you say that, it's like just another job. Really makes me feel like we're talking about another industry entirely. But if you really are just a housewife, Mrs. Shiki, why are you working for a special unit like that? I know it's none of my business, but if your husband is a psychic, wouldn't all this be more in his line of work? True. Personally, I'd also rather our roles were reversed. But there are several reasons why that unfortunately can't be the case. I see. I don't really know your circumstances, but it sounds pretty tough. Either way, I should be good to put this down as a paranormal affairs case, right? That should be fine, yes. You can leave the rest of the investigation to us. We'll also handle the report. More specifically, Soto will. Really? Thanks. That's a great help. Not again. not the department. So, does that mean you came all the way to Mie because you knew something like this was going to happen? Oh, that's awfully perceptive of you, Detective. I suppose you could say that, yes. At the very least, the situation hasn't come as a huge surprise. Ah, if that's the case. Was the body from the other day one of those cases too, then? Unlocked new trapper Yumiko Shiki. It was indeed, yes. Seriously? That does sound like a pain to deal with. I bet our chief knew all about this when he assigned me to the case. If it lessens the burden, you have been a great help to us so far, Detective. I don't mind occult stuff, so I've been asking all these questions out of curiosity. But it's probably best I don't get too involved in all this paranormal business, right? You must have a good reason for keeping it under wraps, after all. I think that would be wise, yes. How about curses? Still, I never would have thought that there is a curse out there that can turn people into fish. And it only half worked, so the victim ended up looking like a mermaid. That's bound to cause misunderstandings. The curse is originally meant to turn a person's whole body into that of a fish, you see. But the victim died before the transformation was complete, so it stopped before it could reach that point. The vast majority of the mermaids discovered over the years are either man-made fakes or victims of the same curse. I see. To be honest, part of me was kind of excited when I first saw what it looked like. I thought that it might really mean there are mermaids out there, you know? Exactly like the ones you hear about in stories. I'm afraid we can neither confirm nor deny things there. Oh, I get why you were asking about the corpse's identity now. It's because you realize they used to be human, right? That's right. Very recently, too. The transformation is likely to happen yesterday or even earlier today. What? That recently? Someone could really end up in a state like this after just a day? They certainly could. Seriously? These curses sure are scary. I'll get forensics to take a look when they get here then. Please do. The investigator in question has worked on paranormal affairs cases before, so they shouldn't need any explanation. Ah, right. The case from yesterday. Great. That should save us some effort then. Curses? Cursed one day, a mummified corpse the next. Sure is a scary world we live in. Talk about spirit sense. You know, I sometimes find myself wondering if I have a bit of a spirit sense as well. There have been times I've caught sight of strange things when walking down a road at night. And when I looked into it later, I found out the place I'd walked by had been the site of an accident or the like. Oh, that might be the real deal then. It definitely is a possibility. I would advise not going too close to anything you see of that nature. It becomes easier for them to target you if they realize you're aware of them, you see. Jeez, what would happen then? I guess I'd end up possessed or something. There is that danger, yes, in the event you are possessed. You may find yourself afflicted by headaches, muscle stiffness, and hallucinations. Memory problems and impaired thinking are also not unheard of. Headaches and muscle stiffness definitely ring a bell. I sure hope it isn't the work of some spirit. Do people have their personalities taken over when possessed too? It may be possible with spirits who had a very close relationship to their target, such as if they were siblings or were a parent and child. But you almost never hear about people being taken over completely. The negative effects I just mentioned are primarily caused by the two parties not being in sync. That's good to know, I think. Even if a spirit were able to successfully possess someone, it would only be able to pressure them to behave in ways that wouldn't be usual for the individual in question. I see, but in that case, there's no way of knowing whether you're behaving that way on your own will or not, right? Exactly, hence the prevalence of cases where people don't even realize they're possessed. So that's how things work there. As far as I know, I haven't been having any problems like that, though, so I think I should be fine. Spirit sense. Having spirit sense seems like it's more trouble than it's worth somehow. We originally came to Mie from Tokyo to investigate another case. But with so many other incidents occurring, I can't help but get the sinking feeling something troublesome is about to happen. Detective Ide has been a huge help to us so far. We might be able to reveal some of our circumstances to him. Ma'am? What is it? Perhaps I could use my shotgun ability and see if it produces any results. Ah, that's an excellent idea. I almost forgot we had such a handy trick up our sleeve. Shotgun? Well, what does that do? Patience, detective. You'll see soon enough. Right. There. It's done. Oh, so it went well, did it? Well done, Soto. Oh, what's all this about then? Soto can see the face of the descendant from a piece of their remains, however small. He can then sketch their features based on what he saw. Oh, so that's how you got a sketch of the victim in that other case. And a ability like that would be priceless if we could ever use it on the Force, you know. Well, I hear it doesn't always work, so it's unfortunately not foolproof. So, what did our victim look like? About that. I think it might be faster to see for yourself. His face. It's Somikawa. Wait, Somikawa? You can't mean... Oh. Yumiko Shiki arrives in Toba City, Mie Prefecture, to investigate the discovery of skeletal remains with her assistant, Soto Kiryu. Date unknown, August 1980X. Morning. Ichika Town, Toba City. Welcome, ma'am. I've been waiting for you. The site where the bones were found is a little ways offshore from this beach. You went ahead and started the investigation, I see. Thanks for that. Not at all. You clearing everything with local police meant all I had to do was arrive and inspect the remains myself. To get straight to the point, there is no doubt. Signs of a curse are clearly evident. The skeletal remains are tied to a supernatural incident. Seems I was right to trust my intuition on this one. Alright then, let me hear the full report. Understood. This is the town of Ichika in Toba City. The area is a historic place known for its ama divers. Oh, I know it well. It's also famous as the filming location of one of Japan's most well-known monster films. I wouldn't know about that myself, ma'am, but you seem unusually well-versed in that area. Those old Kokusatsu films are the best. You should watch some for yourself, Soto. As you wish. I'll look into it. A diligent and earnest young man, his mentor, my husband, has nothing but praise for his skills, so he has my complete trust. I know I shouldn't rely on him too much, but he's so good at noticing the finer details that I often find myself doing so. Skeletal remains. To begin, shall we review the details of the case? Is that really necessary? Summarizing may help us notice something we missed. Not a day goes past that I don't admire your diligence, Soto. My thanks. I strive to be brief. A few days ago, a fisherman off the coast here hauled up a long, rod-like object. It resembled a human bone, so he notified the police. That was about 10 days ago. So he fished it up completely by chance. Following that, the police conducted an underwater investigation of the surrounding area. They discovered multiple skeletal remains in a fissure beneath the rocks. All the remains were already severely deteriorated, with each being several years to several decades old. As a result, forensics struggled to identify the victims. There was just too little to go on. Only fragments of the skull remained, so facial reconstruction was apparently not possible. Hardly surprising, in such a state. Still, with your ability, we hardly need facial reconstruction, do we? Indeed. I'll report my discovery shortly. You know, one possibility comes to mind. Will you humor me? Please, go ahead. I wonder if those skeletal remains could be the victim of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster from 5 years ago. Regrettably, that is not the case. Ah, darn it. Please don't sound so defeated. Forensics confirmed 5 bodies in total, but they said that each had decomposed over a different length of time. Oh, meaning they didn't all die at the same time. Correct. The most recent appears to date back 6 years. The others go back some 10 years before that, and another 10 years, and another 10, and so on. So, roughly 1 body every 10 years. Indeed, I imagine that any older remains may have simply decayed entirely. Which means someone's been using that fissure as a place to dump corpses for decades. It's surrounded by rock, and with minimal currents in the area, it's unlikely they drifted there naturally. Had that bone not been fished up by chance, we'd never have known. In other words, it was an ideal site for quietly disposing of bodies. So, this was no accident. Someone did this. I imagine quite some resentment must have piled up over the years. Indeed, but I've already cleansed the lingering resentment in the area. Leaving such resentment to fester could lead to a curse manifesting after all. Efficient, as always. My thanks. There is one more point of concern that all the remains have in common. Go on. Each body bore a clean, precise cut. It's clearly severed. Severed? You're saying they were sliced straight through the bone? Exactly. Each was sliced down through the bone with a clean cut as smooth as the last. Forensics noted that reproducing such uniform cuts would be extremely difficult. Even with industrial equipment, such precision would have been unachievable decades ago. One possible explanation is that a master swordsman, wielding a razor-sharp katana, cleaved each of them in a single stroke. Yes, well, that would certainly explain it. But warriors don't exactly run around with swords in this day and age. Which brings us to the possibility of a curse, I suppose. Correct. If the cuts were made by supernatural means, the rules change. And as it turns out, there were traces of a curse at each of the severed points. It was just a matter of time until we found one. Also, for the briefest moment, I glimpsed a curse echo that looked like a warrior in armor. A curse echo in armor? Yes, judging from the crest on its armor and given our location, it appears to be a curse tied to the Heike. Right, the Heike. You are familiar with the Heike, I assume? Well... The Heike? I'm not too sure. The Heike were a branch of the Taira clan, a warrior family who rose to power at the end of the Heian period. From their base in Ise province, they expanded their influence, reaching great heights under Taira no Kiyomori. But in their pride, they were defeated by the Genji in what is now known as the Genpai War. Ah, yes, of course I knew that. Yeah, of course. The tale of the Heike preserved just how prosperous they were before they fell. Many who lived through the downfall carried deep regrets. Their resentment is especially persistent. Many traces remain even today, and they can be quite meddlesome. Indeed, you hear about it all over the place. I guess even by expert standards, it's quite the problem. What's more, the katana that curse Echo carried, I believe it may have been the famed blade, Nukimaro. Nukimaro? Yes, a blade passed down through the Heike, once wielded by Taira no Taramori. I see. It would seem your love of swords has proven rather useful here. So what you're saying is that these skeletal remains were killed by the power of Taramori's curse. I can't say it was Taramori himself, but I am confident it was a curse from someone within the Heike. At the very least, it offers an explanation for those mysterious perfect cuts. But the body's being dumped every decade. Surely that can't be the curse too, can it? Correct. I imagine that part likely involves further intervention by someone else. So this wasn't an accident by some spontaneous curse. There was a perpetrator out there. Indeed. However, I can't imagine any psychic with enough power to wield such a curse would dispose of bodies so poorly. My theory is that someone is using a cursed stone. They are killing through its curse, then discarding the bodies. A cursed stone? Think of it as a talisman that leaves even those without spirit sense to use the power of curses. They are created when intense resentment fuses with a suitable relic. That sounds dangerously convenient. There were a few incidents involving cursed stones in Tokyo last year, actually. Didn't you hear? Oh, now that you mentioned it, that somewhat rings a bell. So, in short, whoever's behind this possesses a stone imbued with the Heike's curse. They used it to kill someone roughly every decade, dumping their body into the sea. Yes, that aligns with the evidence. Thank you for the summary. Does it? Now then, about those skeletal remains. Were you able to use your shotgun, Soto? Yes, I did. It only worked on the most recent body, though. The one from 6 years ago. By viewing part of the remains, I was able to reconstruct a portrait sketch of how he looked when he was alive. Here's a copy. I've already provided one to the police as well. Impressive. That ability of yours remains quite the asset. Not always. There are times when the vision just doesn't come through. It's far from infallible. Besides, there are those who could simply speak directly with the victim's spirit and ask who did it. Even so, none of these methods would hold up as admissible evidence in court. But as a lead in our investigation, it's more than enough. Excellent work. Thank you. We had the police compare the sketch against missing people from 6 years ago. But no matches were found. Darn. Darn, it would have made things much easier. Detective Ide is continuing the investigation. Ah, the detective with the local police. I've heard he's good, so let's hope he proves it. Alright, well, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching Paranormasight, The Mermaid's Curse, running on Nintendo Switch 2. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.